On Thursday, July 26th, the bloodied body of 13-year-old schoolgirl Lucy McHugh, who had gone missing the day before, was found in a wooded area near the Southampton Sports Center in Hampshire County. Police officers counted more than 20 stab wounds on her body, 11 of which were inflicted in the neck area, cutting the carotid artery 3 times. Some of the wounds looked as if they had been self-inflicted. Part of a plastic knife handle was found next to Lucy's head, and a sports drink bottle was found next to her body. A missing persons investigation, which was launched by Hampshire Police, became a murder investigation. Lucy grew up in the Southampton area. Her parents were divorced. She lived in a house in Mansell Road East with her mother Stacy White, 31, and stepfather Richard Elms, 22. With her birth father, the girl had little or no contact. Relations with her mother and stepfather were strained. Because of the tense situation in the family, the schoolgirl was fond of self-harm, self-mutilation of her body. The family tried to combat the girl's compulsive behavior, so the kitchen door was always locked to keep her away from knives. Lucy also received help from child and adolescent mental health services, who diagnosed her with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. The last few months of her life were described in court as chaotic. Lucy's life changed abruptly in the spring of 2017 when Stephen Nicholson, a 25-year-old tattoo artist and best friend of Richard Elms' son, turned up at their home. At the time, Stephen was looking for a place to live in Southampton after an argument with his mother. The family kindly gave him a room in their home. Soon Nicholson began molesting 12-year-old Lucy right under her mother's nose. In the biography of Stephen Nicholson, a lot of dark spots. His childhood is difficult to call happy. At 13, he was in an orphanage, and at 14 years old got into the Center for Juvenile Delinquents. Nicholson was arrested in 2009 for the fact that he took hostage the staff and pupils of the Southampton Children's Home. Under the influence of amphetamines, he threatened staff with a knife. He then locked them with other children in a room before stealing £1,000 and fleeing in a member of staff's car. He was later convicted of robbery and property damage after he barricaded himself in a canteen and threatened staff at a young offenders center. After being released from prison in 2012, he decided to start life with a white sheet and became a tattoo artist. However, he became addicted to drugs and cannabis dealing again. At the same time, he had a sexual encounter with an underage girl whom he promised to get a tattoo in exchange for sex. Nicholson took her to the same woods and performed sexual acts with her near the sports center where Lucy was murdered in July 2018. But then he managed to avoid publicity and only got off with a fine, as the girl was afraid to tell her parents about it. Starting in May 2017, Lucy kept a diary detailing her sexual relationship with Stephen Nicholson. In one entry, she wrote that he will still rape me, before detailing how she locked herself in the bathroom to avoid being sexually assaulted. Lucy wrote about having to barricade her bedroom door to stop Nicholson. Nicholson molested and raped Lucy when she was just 12 years old. This marked the beginning of a brutal sexual abuse of a child. Records dated in May 2017 said Nicholson tried to kiss her and asked her if she was a virgin. Lucy wrote, "I said yes. I kept thinking, why wouldn't I be? It's not like I'm a slut." In a diary entry dated May 30, 2017, she wrote, "Last night was amazing. Stephen Nicholson took my virginity. We slept together several times. I also smoked and consumed alcohol." While in another entry, almost a month later, she detailed her oral sex with Nicholson. 2 days later, she claimed she and Nicholson had sex again, saying, "He grabbed my neck hard. This time it hurt. I told him about it, and he said okay." The diary tells how Lucy and Stephen arranged for them to meet in each other's rooms for sexual encounters, and the pair sent each other naked pictures. She wrote Nicholson a letter that read, "Come into my room. This time I will do what you ask because I hate it when you're angry." Lucy had often been abused by Nicholson in recent months. The girl complained several times to friends that the man was drinking heavily and taking drugs, after which he beat her. A week before her death, Lucy said that Nicholson, in alcohol and drug intoxication, tried to break into her room and she had to barricade the door by pushing her bed away. With each passing day, the situation in the house deteriorated. According to Lucy's close friends, the girl lived in constant fear. She shared her distress only with her friends, as her own mother was deaf to her child's pleas for help. The schoolgirl told her mother that she had been abused by Stephen Nicholson, but in response she heard, "Stop making things up," before she ruined someone's life. The girl repeatedly tried to talk to her mother about it, but all she heard in response was, "Shut up." It seemed to her mother that Lucy constantly lies and makes up everything to draw attention to herself. A friend, concerned about Lucy's mental state, told his mother about the abuse of the girl. His mother spoke to Lucy's mother, but in response she heard that there was no cause for concern. With the same words, the friend's mom went to Lucy's stepfather and heard back that she was making it all up. She made no further attempts to speak to Lucy's parents. The relationship between Lucy and Nicholson was heating up every day. Very often the clashes reached fierce arguments and scandals. Stephen's best friend and Lucy's stepfather Elmson jokingly referred to the house as a war zone. The extent of the arguments reached the point where Lucy repeatedly ran away from home. In one of the most recent episodes, she went to her grandparents and lived in their home for about 6 months. In July, the girl returned home. A week before Lucy's death, an argument broke out again between her and Stephen. During it, the girl shouted at Nicholson that it's all your fault, and I'm still going to hold you back. On Wednesday, July 25, 2018, Lucy went missing. The day before her disappearance, she sent Nicholson a text message saying she was pregnant and wanted to meet him. A few days earlier, Stephen had moved out of his rented apartment when Elmson asked him to leave the house due to his endless arguments with Lucy. Immediately after Lucy went missing, her mother contacted Nicholson by phone, to which he replied to her, "I hope they find her safe. The police are doing a good job and they will find her soon." The next day, Lucy's body was found by her dog Russell Morrell in woods near the Southampton Sports Center. He was walking his terrier when he came across the body. He told the court it appeared she was asleep. During the search for the killer, police analyzed 15,000 hours of CCTV footage from more than 250 locations and received more than 200 reports from members of the public. In August, police uncovered CCTV footage that captured Lucy walking towards a sports center in Southampton. She was wearing black tights, a white top and jacket. On Wednesday, July 25th, Lucy left her home in Mansell Road East, Southampton, Hampshire, at around 9 a.m. The walk took Lucy half an hour and showed her carrying a bottle, as well as taking off her jacket and looking at her watch. Police also released outdoor CCTV footage showing Nicholson cycling from where he was living in his mother's house at the time to a friend's house near the sports center on July 25th and the day before. Police had footage of him making another bike ride to and from the sports center, including footage of a cyclist on the grounds taken around 9:46 a.m. on July 25th. Detectives investigating the case had already turned their attention to the family's lodger, Nicholson, within hours of the discovery of the schoolgirl's body. Police discovered that the 25-year-old had been communicating with Lucy via Facebook Messenger the night before she disappeared. He admitted that Lucy had sent him a message saying she was pregnant, but he denied any involvement in the girl's murder. It soon emerged that Nicholson had changed his Facebook password and flatly refused to give it to the police. At the time, the police had no evidence linking him to the murder of the schoolgirl. However, this behavior seemed strange to the police, and they wanted to take a closer look at all the posts. The investigation into Lucy's death, which the CPS, Crown Prosecution Service, described as one of the biggest in criminal history, was disrupted when Nicholson refused to provide police with his Facebook password, for which he had previously been jailed for 14 months. After applying to the U.S. courts for access to his account, prosecutors only obtained a log of his Facebook contacts with Lucy, but not the content of any post revealing a link between Lucy and her alleged killer. The suspect later admitted to dealing drugs and claimed he did not want to disclose his drug contacts through his Facebook account for fear they would target his family. Investigators then decided to check the suspect's phone activity. They enlisted the help of a cloud data analyst to look at Nicholson's online accounts and try to track his movements in those crucial 24 hours between the time Lucy was spotted on outdoor CCTV cameras and her body was discovered. The analyst noticed a flash in an area that police had not yet searched, suggesting he had taken a different route home. The flash covered Tanners Creek, which flowed through Southampton, about a mile from the murder scene. 4 weeks after Lucy's body was found, Hampshire police searched the suspected area with 190 officers from 12 police forces. On the first day, they had a breakthrough, a bag containing a blue blood-stained Russell athletic sweatshirt, athletic pants with a burn mark, blue surgical gloves in a pocket and other items referred to in court as Nicholson's murder kit. The clothing contained Nicholson's DNA and Lucy's blood. Some of the clothing was partially burned. Investigators believe Nicholson discarded the kit near a creek after changing clothes while returning from the July 25th murder scene. Murder kit reveals Lucy's DNA on the bloody sweatshirt. Fibers from Nicholson's clothing suggested direct contact with the hoodie. The defendant also burned his sneakers in a bonfire on the day of Lucy's death and disposed of the Samsung cell phone he was using. The Samsung phone was discovered a month after Lucy's death in a work locker used by his brother David at IKEA in downtown Southampton. In the weeks after Lucy's death, diary entries, Notes and letters were discovered by family members mentioning details of Nicholson's secret sexual relationship with the schoolgirl. On Wednesday, November 14, 2018, Nicholson was charged with Lucy's murder and a number of sex crimes. Lucy's murder trial took place in mid-June and ends July 18, 2019. Stephen Nicholson was accused of repeatedly stabbing 13-year-old Lucy in the neck and upper body at a Southampton sports center before leaving her for dead last July. In total, he stabbed her 20 times and inflicted 7 slash wounds to her face, upper chest, and forearms with a knife with a single blade at least 7 centimeters long. One injury, a 3 centimeter slash wound in the area of Lucy's left wrist, looked like it might have been inflicted intentionally to divert suspicion from the murder. He was also charged with 3 counts of rape against her when she was 12 and 2 counts of sexual activity with a child against Lucy on several occasions when she was 13. Nicholson was found guilty of the murder of Lucy McHugh, 3 counts of rape of a child under 13, Lucy, 1 count of sexual activity with a child under 16, a girl aged 14 in 2012. He was sentenced to life imprisonment to serve a minimum of 33 years for Lucy's murder.